I am Saruman from Eventide Snake. It's my home server. It's the server I started on. I'm just going to do a quick guide here for all the new players on BM 1 through 7 no loss. I'll show you the legends I'm using. Oops, wrong screen there. My main seer is my namesake. Better repair that armor before I do this. I use half Shin, half Pengu. It's a good setup for BM7 because you get this 150% boost. I do have the new gems on it. I use Clouds of Dust, and I use the 4 namesake artifacts, mainly the Peerless, because you don't really need these ones for BM7. You can see I've got just over 10k strategy, 2.3k courage, and 2.3k magic. My warrior is Zeus, full Shin. I'm just about full on the new gems on here. I think I'm missing 1 or 2 on this and the helm, but you can see he's pretty formidable. Over 10.5k courage, more than enough to do BM7. And then just 3 random legends to use as spacers. I just happen to use whatever I have on hand. If I'm working on some gills, I do that. In fact, that's what I'm going to do this time. Now, some people will use archers with boomsticks to do 1 through 7. I do not, because I don't need it. My namesake and Zeus will more than take care of everything I need to. Make sure you preset the artifacts right here, or you have to sit there every battle and click the artifact you want to use. I do experience based. You can do whichever you want. I just happen to need the experience books for gills when I'm doing them, so I stockpile. So going into BM1, for BM1 through 3, sometimes 4, you can use regular chairs if you need to, but once you hit 5 and up, if you use regular chairs, you will not be able to clear it. Once you get to the archers, you're going to lose. So I would recommend using at least elites. I use 100,000 zombie chairs and 52,000 zombie archers personally, but that's my own choice. You can use whatever you want. BM 1 through 4 are pretty standard, so I'm just going to pause the video and I will unpause it. Once I get up to BM 5, I'll show you what that looks like quick, and we'll go from there. I just want to give a quick shout out to Elena here. She came up with this great name for all of my guides that I will be doing, SAR's Guide to the World of Wall. So I may decide to do that, I may not, I don't know yet. I'm going to pause it again and I'll see you later. Okay, so we are now going into BM5. It's pretty straightforward. Same basic concept as 1 through 4, it's just more troops, a little bit harder. Again, I'm going to pause until I get to 6. See you then. Okay, we are now on BM6. I'll leave this one play the whole time so you can see all the legends you have to fight. I'll show you which ones you have to watch out for and how to take care of them. Still no bosses yet. No bosses. can see here, this is Piggy. He's the boss you need to watch for. There's one set of archers, so fairly easy to get around. Call up one of your spacers. You see Piggy came up second, so you're going to call up your warrior to one-hit him. Your spacers will die, so don't use any troops you can't afford to lose. After your warrior is up, make sure you call your seer back up so you don't go against archers with your warrior, or you're going to lose them. Oh, there's that lovely glitch. I always love it when that happens. That number is going to go back down to 52,000 after this round. I don't actually have that many on him. I do on my namesake. Now Piggy's dead, and BM6, the rest of it is just like the previous floors. It's just a matter of clicking and trying not to get bored. You'll see as we go through the floor, if there's a set of HALs on any of the legends, they will come up second. That always happens. It's planned that way, and you'll see why that's helpful when we get into BM7. So I know this legend's going to come up next because he's the only one with HALs. So there he is, second legend. After that, it's completely random. If you want to work through the floors a little bit faster, this advanced view, make sure it says advanced view, not basic view. Show you what the difference is here. It just adds in what your artifacts are doing, just takes a little bit more time versus this where it just takes off the troops and the artifact at the same time. Shaves off about halves the time it takes you to do BM roughly. The way I'm doing it, I can do a set of 5 legends in anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds, depending how fast I click and how much lag there is. BM 1 through 7 run doesn't take too long. I can usually do 2 on a Mysterious Elixir if I work at it. Just keep that in mind when you're using boosts to boost experience gain. Try and plan ahead. You can see here my mana went down quite a bit, so my max mana rather. So that tells me I have either boosts that went out or my armor needs to be repaired. I know it's not my armor because I did that before I went in. So I will look under here. You can see I usually have a Mooncake and Motley Elixir running. You can see they both ran out, so you just go into aid, use one of each. That will get me through the rest of BM. Again, they last an hour. I can usually do 2 runs on those if I push it. You can see my max mana is back up to 52,000, which is all good. That's more than enough to do BM. I usually use 1 herb pellet per run usually. You can refill your mana while in battle. You just go to your legend screen, select the legend you want to add mana to, hit this plus right here, and you choose whichever you're going to use. It's important to keep the mana up, so if you do somehow disconnect, you don't end up losing a lot of troops there's always a chance that you can come back and not have lost any, or you could lose quite a few. So now we're on to BM7. Because I am down one spacer, I do need to use an army aid. You just click this plus right there, figure out which legend it is that's down one, add one, save, and if you're saving to multiple legends at once, all you do is you click there, you go through, you add one here, click on the next one, add one there, click on the next one, add one there, and then save, and it will save all of them at once. There is a current glitch with that. If you have boosts running that ran out while you were in BM for some reason, it does not let you refill troops, but it will use the army aid. Just keep that in mind. Make sure you have boosts active long enough to get you through BM, or you're not using the spacers. Now we're going to start BM7. It's pretty straightforward, similar to BM6. Just more legends and a second boss you need to watch out for. And I'll point those out to you when we see them. I always like to delete the report so I can see how many floors I have left. Just personal preference, you don't need to. Still no bosses. And again, the pals will come up second. So this guy right here, he's going to come up second. There we go. And then again, it's random after that. Now you can use, I use my namesake, but you don't have to. Before I perfected it, I used a Rahu level 120 perfect with the passives. He does BM6 fine, does BM7 fine, and for warrior I happen to have Zeus that was given to me by a friend who unfortunately had to quit. But before he was perfected, I used a Bub with a Shang Yu combo, more than enough. Now I happen to have Shin, just step up from what I had. For your Seer, you can use, like I did, you can use a Rahu, or you can use an Ash if you're free to play. That's a free to play legend. Great legend. It's got a 30% increaser, so it's good for BM7 if you can't, if you lose some troops to XY when you fight him. Same thing with Bub. Unfortunately, when you use Bub, if you lose some troops, you're most likely going to lose all of them due to how strong all the legends are. You can see here again the Hals came up second. But Ash and Bub make a good team for BM. Quite a few people on our server use those until they get better legends. Again, my mana is down a little bit, so I'm going to refill that. Quite often, if I'm not experiencing any lag at all, I will let it run down all the way and use herb pellets rather than blood flowers, just because you use fewer, so it's a little bit more cost effective if you have to buy everything. But if you're experiencing any lag at all, you absolutely have to keep it as close to the max as you can, because if you disconnect, you could lose all your troops, which is something you don't want to do, especially if you're free to play. They can be pretty hard to replace. A little bit of lag right there. Yeah, you can see here XY, he is the only set of Hals with 4 sets of archers. Because Hal's come up second, I know he's coming up second. So I can call up my warrior, and my warrior will one-hit him, and I don't have to worry about him. So there we go, he's up second against my warrior. Big thing when you're doing this is you absolutely have to call your seer back up, or you will lose all your archers, and when you lose all your archers, you can't one-hit White Tiger, which means you're going to lose all of your chariots. So there we go, XY is dead, no loss. All the archers are dead, so we're past XY, moving on. Still no White Tiger. You can see here is White Tiger. You got 1 set of Hals, so if you are down 1 spacer for some reason, you can always tank the Hals because you know they're coming up second. I've got the spacers, so I'll just show you how you do it. You use 1 set of spacers, Hals come up, call your seer up, archer is dead, seer is up. For the next legend, call up 1 of your spacers, and we've got White Tiger. So we call up our warrior to one-hit White Tiger, and again, once he's up, make sure you call up your seer. I've done it more than once. I've lost all of my archers. It's a pain in the butt. You don't want to have to go through it. There we go, White Tiger is dead, and we're almost done with the round. See how many rounds we have left here. We've got 5 rounds left. So I'll click through these quick. It'll take about 2.5 minutes, give or take. And after the video is done here, after I'm done with BM, I will show you my legends again. I'll show you which boosts I'm using, and we'll call it good. Excuse me. There we go, done with BM7. Now if you were to go on to BM8, you would need to refill your archers or chariots, whichever you happen to be using. BM8 is a slightly different setup. I don't do it yet. I'm not entirely sure on the setup. So I'm just going to recall my troops. Hopefully, there we go. and I'll show you my legends here. So, my namesake, Saruman, level 150, perfected, 10k strategy, 2.3k magic and courage. It is half Shin, half Pengu. 15 plus on everything, well, except that one. It is the Heavenly Jewel Box gems, so Divine Jades and Black Tortoise for 80% strategy. Clouds of Dust, courtesy of Vet Legend. Peerless Overlord, Harbinger Hammer, Magic Tree Dust, and Spirit Sword Case. These ones I don't use very much, but when I do, they have saved my butt more than once. Peerless is great. If you don't have that, if you don't have a namesake, you can use any nullifier, 5 element destiny. I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure. My warrior, Zeus, full Shin. I'll repair that so you can see it quick. 10.5k courage, 2.3k magic, 1.9k strategy. His mount is Artie. Pretty nice legend, given to me by Slain Cookie, who unfortunately had to quit the game, as I said earlier. Great in Feng Shen Tower as well. Don't do it much, but when I do, he is one of my legends of choice. The boosts I use, a little bit of lag there. Use Motley Elixir, Mooncake, Lava Shield, and Red Mist. Those are pretty helpful. You can see I've got a couple things on Lovesick Red Beans. They are the, I'll show them to you here quick, Sweet Berries. They are from the VIP boxes. All of my resource output, double experience, that is Clarity. Haste, you don't really need that unless you don't have the top of the line mounts. It's pretty helpful, but not needed. Jade Bauble, Gold Bauble, they give resource, some extra building slots I believe, and experience gain, and a legend capturing rate. Nua and Fuxi VIP, magical defense, that is the Red Mist and the Lava Shield, and of course your Alliance benefits. Couple of the other things you can use if you use Master Pennant or Pennant. I don't at the moment just because I don't need to. Elder Token and Lord's Decree, I'm not sure if it's fixed yet, but together if you use them you have an extra 200% defense, which is big when you're doing the higher floors. You can use these, you get these via the Alley. And I guess I don't have the rest of them. Army Aids, make sure you have plenty of those if you are using spacers. If not, you don't really need them. So, good luck. Oh, forgot to do my shout out. Elena, thanks for the name. Viking, you have provided some pretty good information for me. We call you Wiki for a reason. Vet Legend, you have provided me with more than enough elders, all that kinds of stuff. And the rest of God's Domain, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't be doing BM7 yet. I would still be that little guy at 5 bill rep who couldn't even do BM5. Thanks, guys. See you later.